Well, my name is Miss Taisha Horton. I'm an admission counselor slash recruiter here at the university. I'm a 2018 graduate here and also an incoming fall graduate student here in criminal justice. I'm from a small town here in Mississippi, right here in the Delta by the Mississippi Valley State University. Accredited to university being founded in 1950. We're a small community of University College down in the Delta, where also Jerry Rice, the football player, that played here. So this is quick facts about the university. We have a 13-1 student ratio here at the university. Mostly we have international students come from Singapore, Africa, stuff like that. Cross country soccer team.
What's the total enrollment now of students? About how big is the campus?
Well, the enrollment varies every week. Every week we get a different number. So including with all the students from the past fiscal year, so I say it's around probably 1,600.
Okay. So it's kind of that perfect size if you want to meet new people,
right?
But you don't want to be overwhelmed.
Correct.
It's a really good size. Okay.
So it's like a small, neat community.
Yeah. It lets you be able to kind of meet somebody new almost every day, but then form a really, really good group of knowing people on campus too. So that's perfect. So someone, if they want to apply, they've decided they like the campus, they're interested in applying. Can you walk me through that process? When does the application for admission open? How do they apply? Is there an admissions deadline?
Well, no, the admission deadline is opens varies through the fiscal year. You can enroll any time of the year. First we have your application. First, we'll need your also your immunization records. Then we'll need your high school final transcript, or are you a transfer school that went to like a JUCO school? We will need that final transcript also.
Okay.
SAT scores wise, if you have a high school transcript of a 3.2 above, we wouldn't need your ACT or SAT transcript. So you'll be already admitted based upon your 3.2 GPA.
So you don't have to submit test scores if your GPA is above a 3.2.
Correct. You don't have to submit ACT score. Say if you like the 50% of your class, you can have at least a 16 on the ACT, SAT with at least a 2.5 GPA. Okay. 18 ACT GPA, you can have at least a 2.3.
Okay. So just to clarify, you said the application is always open, right?
Always open online.
So I guess students just have to indicate which enrollment term they're applying.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. It's like a checklist.
Gotcha. Okay. So with admissions, are y'all using the ACT Super Score if they do submit test scores?
Yes, ma'am. It varies. We do require those students to at least have those ACT or SAT scores.
Okay. And then are y'all using the highest composite, or will you take a super score from ACT?
We're taking the highest composite.
Highest composite. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So for scholarships, like academic scholarships, is there a range of ACT and GPA where a student needs to be to guarantee an academic scholarship?
Yes, ma'am. They have to have at least a 2.5 GPA. It have to also equate into once they get enrolled to university, they have to maintain their GPA.
Okay. Maintain the 2.5?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So a student, as long as they have above a 2.5 or higher GPA, they don't have to have a certain ACT score for scholarships. They could get an academic scholarship.
Correct.
On the GPA.
They can have, yes. So we also have various, like the presidential scholarship. You have to have at least a 20 above.
Okay. And I'm assuming, is that one of those limited kind of competitive scholarships?
Yes, this scholarship also varies for their sophomore, junior, and senior year. It covers book reimbursement and everything like that. Room and board, also laundry, books, tuition, room and board, all in one.
Okay.
But you have to maintain that GPA.
Okay. And then for that scholarship and academic scholarships, is there a separate scholarship application that's required, or do y'all award scholarships just on the information that comes in on the admissions application?
Yes, based on the information that is given to us first prior to applying for the university, we go by their information.
Okay, so not a separate application for scholarships?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there a deadline to be considered for scholarships?
Yes.
Like, do they need to be admitted by a certain day?
Yes. Their scholarship deadlines often is closed by the upcoming spring semester.
Okay, so it'll close sometime in the spring before
Yes,
they
ma'am.
graduate high school.
Correct.
Okay. And then, do you or the financial aid office, do y'all require the FAFSA to be completed for incoming students?
Yes, to be honest, it's best to have your FAFSA completed actually get the end of the semester or your high school senior year. Because the earlier you get your FAFSA completed, is the more you get everything done.
Okay, so it is
So we
required for
require-
students.
Yes, it is required.
And then, so it's obviously probably required for scholarships too, then, if it's required for all admitting students, it's gotta be. on
Right,
file
yeah.
anyway. Okay. And you just said just by the end of the first semester is the priority date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if a student did take the ACT and wanted to try and increase their scholarship offer, does increasing the ACT award actually change their scholarship, or is it just if their GPA increases? Could they increase their scholarship award later?
Well, they can have the standardized 3.2 GPA to get into
Okay.
university, but they will still have to have that 20 on the ACT or SAT in order to get their university scholarship. So they have to have both the high GPA and the ACT or ACT score, 20.
To get the presidential.
Right, correct. And also the university scholarship also. You have to have a 3.1 for that.
Okay. So, okay, I thought the academic scholarship was a 2.5. So you're saying it's a 3.1 for an
Yeah,
academic?
we have various scholarship.
Okay.
University
So the
scholarship-
minimum is a 2.5.
The minimum is a 2.5.
Okay. Okay. So if a student took like an ACT later in the spring of their senior year and made like a 25, could they submit that new ACT score and get a higher scholarship award?
They can, yes. We have our own very general fund scholarship up to $2,000 per student.
Okay. Okay. And is there a last ACT test date that's accepted for that, or can they continue to submit test scores all the way through the summer before they enroll?
Yes, ma'am, most definitely.
Okay. I feel like a lot of schools are transitioning to all the way through the summer, which helps students out. I think it takes some of the pressure off. So I know that for us, we get a lot of questions after we figure out scholarships and financial aid. Students ask us,
Right.
where am I going to live and how am I going to like apply for housing? And so I'm sure that's probably one of the first questions you get too. So can you walk me through how housing works?
Yes, most students do have a concern about student housing. It's a simple transaction. Just go to the InvestU website, student housing. It's a 3-step thing. First, they're gonna ask, your name, your valid address, a phone number, student ID number. Student housing, this ties in with tuition. So tuition is around, I'll say $6,700.
Okay.
That's including tuition, room and board, laundry fees and stuff like that, all in one. And we also, the same for in-state is the same for out-of-state tuition.
Okay.
So
there's no out-of-state tuition.
No, there's no out-of-state tuition. So everyone pays the same.
Okay, that's good to know. Especially with y'all's location, because you probably can pull some kids from right across state lines there in Tennessee and Arkansas that
Yes.
are relatively close. So you mentioned that students need a student ID number to apply for housing. So does that mean they can't apply until they've been admitted?
Right. They can only apply for student housing once they've been admitted to the university.
Okay. And is there a deadline to complete their housing applications?
Yes, it falls every spring semester, just like the scholarship every spring semester. And it's a one-time $75 fee for student housing.
Okay. So is there anything like new or unique in terms of programs or majors that's happening on campus this upcoming year, or are there just unique programs that students need to be aware of at MBSU?
Well, yes, we have a WISC program, and what that is just Women Empowerment Program for this major in biology, for women just
Okay.
major in biology. So we have that. That's new. We have a Chick-fil-A coming, so it's
That is
kind of
really exciting.
yes. So it's kind of different for students that's come from like out of state that's used to Chick-fil-A in their hometown. So it's new for us in the Delta.
Okay.
I can tell you that. Otherwise, we have a lot of academics organizations for students here on campus. Say for instance, the criminal justice department, which I was in undergrad. We have an unsociety group. We go to different states, compete against other university and college for we have a law school thing here where students compete against other colleges and universities for the same thing as a student body. So it's a lot of stuff I can really talk about, but since we have so little time, I'm just gonna it's a lot.
Hit
but
the high points.
It's based on yeah.
What are some of the more well-known majors, or I guess more popular majors that students enroll in?
Criminal justice,
Okay.
social work, biology, business administration. Those are the top four in the highest degrees that's here at the university.
Okay. All right.
And we also have a graduate program.
Okay. So you mentioned you're about to be a grad student in the fall, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
I wish you luck. Grad school and working, that is a busy life. So kind of the last question I've been asking admissions counselors is, we know that the last year of everyone's lives has just looked different with COVID. So education has obviously looked very different. College campuses have looked very different. What are some of the things that y'all have in place to help students as they're transitioning to campus? I'm assuming y'all are back on campus doing more kind of in person. But what are some of the things that help them succeed with transitioning to college, as well as just doing well in the classroom? So like tutoring centers, health centers, maybe counseling services, some of those things for student affairs development.
Yes, ma'am. You know, since due to COVID, a lot of stuff in society have barely changed. Like I stated before, students are actually moving on campus and they're actually 100% open for those students. Some programs and major professors have classes online and some have in-study session. So students actually have class 2 days out of the week now due to the COVID, the pandemic. And those students are actually divided into classes.
Okay. And then are there like counseling services or tutoring services to help students kind of adjust to classes?
And it's free for those students. You have tutors that's on site. You know, due to COVID, only can have one per tutor to per student.
Okay.
So everything is still the same like before the pandemic, but actually we're just doing it at a safer place. I can just say that.
So still offering all the same things, but maybe have just modified how it's offered. Okay. So really that wraps up the questions I had. That's a lot of what we get from students. Just how do I apply? What's the scholarship level? That kind of thing. Is there anything else that you want a high school senior, a college and career readiness teacher, or a high school counselor to know? Just anything that we haven't talked about that they should know when they're considering schools?
Right. I'm just going to sum it all up in one for everyone. High school counselor, apply for scholarship. I'm telling you, apply. Make sure if you don't have to necessarily go to college, you go to a trade school. But just your senior year, basically, you just come into your young adult life. You have to make a decision. Once you're a senior in high school, you have to go ahead and make a decision. If you want to go to college, or you want to go to business school, you want to go to culinary art school, or you want to go to the military, that's the time, especially FAFSA. Scholarships is number one. Like I stated before, scholarships is number one because they help with everything, because some students cannot get financial aid. And you can have another leeway, especially scholarship. Athletes, make sure you're good in both athletic and academic wise. Because the WNCAA look at both your academic wise and your athletic wise. High school counselors seek to having sessions about students that can do that faster. Some incoming students don't, know how to submit it faster, so there'll be a good leeway for some students that can carry on through the years, through their junior and senior year of college to do their own faster. So this is a good start to have them learning on. But most likely I'll just say, you guys keep your head up, make sure you know what clear direction you want to go, make sure what do you want to major and what you want to be. But most likely apply for those scholarships.
That's right. Apply for a scholarship. And we always tell students too, when we're meeting with students, scholarships, you can start applying now as a senior because scholarships have deadlines all throughout your senior year. So if you wanted to, you could apply for a new scholarship every single week of your senior year because there are just deadlines that vary. And the more you apply for, the more that means you might get selected, and that's the less you have to pay.
And the other thing about that is some scholarship provide you to do like a philosophy of yourself or why you want to attend college, something like that. There's nothing wrong with continuing that leeway of the philosophy for that scholarship for their university and that scholarship for their university. So really you're just using the main points and the main details of that one college and just apply for a lot of scholarships in that one setting.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us some information for students. We hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yes, ma'am. You too. And thank you so much.